What do you see when you look at the big picture behind the recent Karnataka polls? In reality, there are many new trends that are emerging, but there's one macro story that I find fascinating, and that's the supremacy of older leaders in Indian politics right now. In this short piece, I'm going to point out to you several instances of leaders that are outsmarting, outmaneuvering the younger rivals time and time again. Let's begin with the recently concluded elections and the case of 75-year-old Siddaramaiah beating 61-year-old D.K. Shivkumar. Now, 75 in any field is a pretty mature age, and if you recall, BJP wants everyone to retire by 70. Remember how they put all their senior leaders like L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi in the Marg Darshan Mandal, and no more fighting, they said, elections after 70. But in some ways, Siddaramaiah is at the peak of his career at this age. He has more MLAs loyal to him than D.K. Shivkumar. He has a better image. And while Shivakumar is also a brilliant politician, Siddaramaiah was able to outsmart him. Potentially, he will stay at this peak as Chief Minister till he's 80 years old. And that's not a small achievement when you consider that to get to this position today, he's even outsmarted BJP's big guns like Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. He's not the only clever senior in Karnataka. His boss, Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge, has also reached the peak of his career at the ripe old age of 80. Think about this. Mr. Kharge thrice came close to becoming Chief Minister. Every time the loyal leader waited, and when he was disappointed, he accepted a consolation prize like cabinet ministership. But it's paid off for him, and now all that disappointment, all those challenges seem to have prepped him for the job of his life to steer the 137-year-old Congress party through these difficult times. Kharge defeated a younger, more glamorous Shashi Tharoor to get this job, and guess what? He's also managed to hold his own and get good press despite the obsession that people have with the Gandhis. Now, the senior star performers aren't just in the Congress, but also in the BJP in Karnataka. The man who single-handedly influenced the Lingayat vote to leave their traditional BJP camp and switch over to the Congress party is an 80-year-old former Chief Minister, B.S. Yediyurappa. Now, we know that the BJP has ideas about the organization being bigger than the personality and about the new generation having to take over, and they should take over, they feel, from the old. That's why, like in Gujarat, they handed over power from BSY to Basavaraj Bommai. Everyone calculated that there would be impact, but no one, definitely not the BJP, thought that the 17% vote of the community would leave with this one man. I mean, Congress played on the fact that the BJP didn't care for Lingayat leaders and managed to make 37 Lingayat MLAs out of the 135 total win that their party had. Speaking of 80-year-olds, they aren't limited to Karnataka. Maharashtra's entire political scene witnessed yet another brilliant move by the chief of the Nationalist Congress Party, Sharad Pawar. Now, Mr. Pawar has many stories which show he's on top of his game at this ripe age, but I'll just point you all to read up on how he shut down any kind of rebellion in his party recently by staging a very dramatic resignation drama. It lasted days, and in that period, he had his younger colleagues, especially the man who's trying to be his political heir, Ajit Pawar, watch in amazement. They all watched as party workers begged him, told him not to leave. The message: Pawar may be 82, but the party still needs him to survive. His own insight about the key to his success: to keep everyone guessing. It puts rivals, he says, on the edge. I've named just 4, but there are so many others across the Indian political landscape. There's Deve Gowda, former Prime Minister and Karnataka's JDS leader. He may have turned 90 recently, but from the Prime Minister to Congress leaders, they all know that he's a force to reckon with. When he met Prime Minister Modi, everyone thought it was a secret deal between the two parties. So, like Pawar said, he keeps people guessing. There's also 76-year-old Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, who's been at the top post in Odisha for more than 2 decades. And guess what? There is no challenger in sight. Nobody thinks that anyone can defeat Naveen Patnaik. Which brings me to the case of Congress's former president and MP Rahul Gandhi. Now, Gandhi at 52 is younger than all my other case studies. But this is why I mention him. He may have been in politics for almost 20 years now. But if you see closely, he has only achieved a modest degree of success only recently. In fact, as recently as his Bharat Jodo Yatra earlier this year. And guess what? That period coincides with the time that he's sporting an older, mature look. There's the shaggy graying beard and his face is also showing age-appropriate wrinkles. Could it be that the Indian voter just trusts older people with their vote? Is that the reason why they gave a thumbs up to Rahul Gandhi's Yatra and have voted Congress to power in 2 states, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka this year? After a series of defeats, it's certainly something to think about. Although, do write to me if you know of many cases of young netas getting the better of older ones.